What is up, my ducks and drakes? Welcome to the Crawdad Lake. Today I'm reading I Can See a Sandersides fanfic by ariww19 on Wattpad. I'm sorry I didn't say the name, but I do not know how to pronounce that, and I do not want to mispronounce it, so I'm spelling it. Synopsis. Mom told me that the ability to soul search that I share with my grandma is a gift. Grandma believed we were given soul search for a reason. I'm not so sure, but it sure does come in handy, but that's only true if I can sort through it. I'd like to thank you all for listening to this episode today, and please go check out the author if you'd like to read along with the book. The link will be in the description below. Without further ado, Chapter 1. Another ordinary day at this shit school, and in the shit town with these shit people. That's dramatic, but it is really boring here. At least the weather here is cooler than where I lived before. It might even rain today. Hope so. As soon as I reach the entrance of my high school, I take a look around at everyone. My school is much like those cliché high schools that you see in movies. There's the jocks and cheerleaders, otherwise known as the cool kids. Then you have the geeks and the nerds and the hipsters, the skaters, the emo kids, the thespians. Lastly, the outsiders. This is where you would think I'd fit, and based on what people here already say. I take a minute to inspect the large, two-story building. The white trimmed windows that are all over the building stand out against the red brick wall. I'm new to town and only arrived a few months ago. This will be the third school I've been in the last 2 years alone. It would be easy to blame my mom, but the truth is that I kept getting into trouble. Punching someone for picking on you or picking on someone else might seem like an overreaction, but I don't care. Actually, I gave the guy a broken nose, but I wasn't about to sit idly by and take shit from anyone. I definitely wasn't going to sit back and let that guy hurt another person just to make himself feel better. Hurting someone who is weaker than you doesn't make you strong. It makes you an asshole. It was just my luck that the kid turned out to be from a rich family. Deal was either leave town or they press charges. It could have been worse. I don't like bullies. If you have strength, then you should use it to protect people, not hurt them. People around me would learn real quick not to fuck with me. I'm pretty certain that the people here will learn that relatively quick as well. With a heavy sigh, I force myself to walk to the double doors. As soon as I get inside, I go straight to my first period classroom on the second floor. I sit down across from the door and I keep to myself this whole time. I won't let people get to me. I owe Mom at least that much. The main reason we moved from Florida in the first place was because I kept getting into trouble. I open up my book bag and grab the book I've been reading and my headphones. After putting them on and putting on a music shuffle, I open the book to the last page I read. While I'm reading, out of the corner of my eye, I see someone sit down next to me. I look up to see some kid that I'm sure I've seen around, but I haven't cared enough about it to acknowledge it till now. I think he's in this class, actually. He's pretty cute. Can I help you? I ask while pulling down my headphones. You're Virgil, right? He asks. I've been here almost 5 months. Why is he only talking to me now? I am, and who are you? I respond. He says that his name is Roman, and figured he would say hey. Why? I ask, kind of annoyed that he's bugging me with this shit. Because I think you're really attractive, and I want to get to know you, he explains. Seriously? Well, at least he's being straight with me. Or is he being gay with me? Suppose it doesn't matter. I'm flattered, but as you could see, I'm busy. I explain, holding up the book a bit so he could see it. The bell rings, so I close the book and put my stuff away again. Ignoring Roman, I make my way into the classroom and to look far back the corner seat in the window. He is really cute, but I don't have time for relationships. What if I do something stupid and we have to move again? I already have to leave my old boyfriend behind. Good morning, everyone, Mr. Barnes, my history teacher says. Since I first came here, something about a soul, is familiar. I have the ability to see things about other people that others can't. My grandma, on my mother's side, had the same ability, which together we named Soul Search. I'm pretty sure that I can't see people's souls, but I was 10 and wanted to call our ability something cool. Besides, what we see looks like a soul. Not that I know what a soul actually looks like, but not the point. It's an ability that only we have, in our family anyways. My mother told me she could see them when she was little, but grew out of it. Grandma's explanation was that her soul isn't as strong as ours. It comes in handy when meeting new people because I could tell the type of person they are, even if they appear to be another way. I could see a person's personality, their emotional state, tell if someone is lying to me or believes what I'm saying, and particularly tell what someone has gone through. I haven't been wrong about anyone so far, but it could happen. Mr. Barnes, a bit of a hard-ass and gives out more homework than any of the other teachers, but I like him. I can see Mr. Barnes is cool-headed but strict when it needs to be. He's my favorite teacher in this school, and he loves books, like me. He's in his late 50s and a bit on the heavy side, but not overweight. Without any wrinkles, he would look about in his early 40s. His eyes seemed tired, but not unhappy. The horn-rimmed glasses he only wears for reading is tucked in his shirt pocket. His dark brown hair is streaked with gray, and it's neatly combed. The wedding ring he has on is worn down. It's noticed sometimes when he's in deep thought. He'll keep turning it. Today we're going to start with a short quiz to review what we've learned about the American Revolutionary War so far. You've got 30 minutes, then I'll come around and collect your papers. Afterwards, I want you all to read pages 378 through 399. Your homework tonight is on the board, so copy it down. He explains as he hands out some papers. He tells us to keep them face down until he says we could start. Before that, he takes attendance, and then he tells us we can begin. I reach into my book bag for a pencil, but can't find one. Great. I raise my hand and wait for Mr. Barnes to notice me. When he does, he walks over and asks me what's wrong. I wanted to borrow a pencil because it seems that I lost mine. I explain. All right, Virgil, give me your phone, he says, holding out his hand. Some of the kids are looking at me like they think I'm in trouble. I'll give you my soul. You're not getting my phone, I say, which causes a few students to laugh a bit. Despite the fact I promised my mother that I wouldn't get into any trouble, I still managed to say something dumb. Nice one, Virg. You could use mine, Roman says from the seat behind me. Has he had that seat the whole time? Mr. Barnes lets me off with a warning, but he did smile a little bit. He walks back to his desk and finally starts on my pop quiz after thanking Roman. I finish my quiz before most of the students, so I start on reading. After first period, it feels like a lifetime until my 5th period lunch. As soon as the bell rings, I gather my things and head to the outdoor cafeteria. Once I was there, I take a seat at one of the empty tables nearest to the indoor cafeteria. Bringing my own lunch guarantees that I won't have to interact with anyone. It's nothing special, just a turkey sandwich. I also brought along a small bag of Doritos and a water bottle. While I ate my sandwich, I also continued to read my book. Wolf at the Door by Barbara Corcoran. Mind if I join you? I look up from my book to see the person who just spoke. Roman. This time, he's with 2 more guys. It's a free country, I say, closing my book. Guys, this is Virgil, the kid I told you about. Virgil, these are my 2 bestest friends, Logan and Patton. I nod while trying not to look at anyone as annoyed as I am. At first, I glance to see Logan is a bit uptight. Not necessarily in a bad way, but in the it's not that I think I'm smarter than everyone else, I am smarter than everyone else way. Which he very well may be really smart. I don't know him enough to make that assumption. Still, I can see he's easy enough to get along with. Looks to be more mature than the other people who go to the school. His black hair is slicked back with gel, and he wears a black professional-looking glasses. He's wearing a black polo with a navy blue tie. He's about my height and weight. Same with Patton. Patton, on the other hand, is kind of the opposite of Logan. Patton gives off a bubbly and too innocent for this world vibe. I can see he's the type of person who is too trusting of people but doesn't mind, likely because he chooses to see the good in people. The baby blue shirt he's wearing has a teddy bear that says "I love hugs" on it. A cardigan draped around his shoulders, and a curly blonde hair is wild, but it still looks good. He's wearing glasses that kind of look like Logan's. He's really sweet and more emotional than most people. I could see that he and Logan have a bond stronger than the one they have with Roman. I could also see they've all known each other for years. Now Roman. He is cute and confident, but not overly so. Looks like an athlete, but not a musclehead. He's a few inches taller than me, probably dense at times, but in no way stupid. From what I've seen so far, he's direct and not one to bite his tongue. Says what he means what he says. I could see he's kind to others and willing to help anyone in need. His brown hair looks really soft, and his smile's breathtaking. He is wearing red skinny jeans and a golden yellow shirt with a white zip-up hoodie today. He's the opposite of me, who wears almost all black, even in the summer. Right now, for example, I'm wearing ripped black skinny jeans, long black t-shirt, and a black beanie. I even have my ears pierced, as well as my left eyebrow and bottom left lip. "Pleasure to meet you," Logan says. I tell him the feeling is mutual. Not entirely true, but he doesn't need to know that. "Hi, I'm Patton. It's great to meet you, Virgil. How are you liking our high school so far?" Why did I let them sit down? "It's fine. Smaller than the ones I've gone to so far, though," is my response. Roman asks why I moved here, so I lie and tell him that my mom got a new job offer here. We spend the rest of lunch talking together, the four of us. Then the bell rings. I double-check that I've got my stuff before standing up. Patton asked if I could give him my number. He says that way we could keep in touch. I usually don't give my number out to people, but I think these guys are starting to grow on me. Once I decide, I tell Patton my number and tell him he can tell the others. I've got 6th period, and I don't hurry. I'll be late. Chapter 2. "Mom, I'm home. You here?" I call out after making sure the front door to my house is locked. "In the kitchen, honey," she yells back. I go back to my room and throw my backpack onto the bed, along with my phone. After that, I head into the kitchen to see my mom staring at a pot full of something. Her long brown hair is tied back into a ponytail. She's wearing her usual jeans and a t-shirt. "Mom, what the hell is that? Why does it look black?" I ask as I get a closer look. "It's dinner," she tries to say confidently. When it moves a bit, we look at each other. "Yeah, I'll go pick us up something. Can you clean this up for me?" I nod and get to work cleaning the mess she made. The front door opens, but before closing, Mom yells that she wants to hear about my day when she gets back. Neither me or my mom can cook well enough to save our lives. Still, my mom isn't one to give up. My mom's amazing, really. She's a doctor at the local hospital. She raised me all on her own after she decided to divorce my dad. Still, for a single mom to finish medical school and her residency still rising her disaster of a son is still pretty amazing. I'm 16 now, and I'm trying to find a job to help out with stuff. My grades are good, so I have my worker's permit. Just need a job. My train of thought is interrupted when I hear my phone going off in my room. It's Probably, Mom. I rinse the soap off my hands and dry them with a towel before heading to my room. My phone's lying on my bed, so I grab it, but just as I look at the screen, it says missed call. I call back and she answers instantly. She explains that she picked up some food and is on her way home, but it's raining. Pretty heavy, too. I assure her it's fine and tell her to just be careful. After hanging up, I grab my homework from today. I'll start with English. I put my headphones on and shuffle my music. Not even 5 minutes pass when I hear my phone beep with a new message. Oh, for fuck's sake. The best part of Welcome to the Black Parade. I grab my phone and look at the screen to see a new message from an unknown number. Speaking of fucking, I say with a smirk. It's Roman. He's just asking if this is the right number. Virgil. It's the right number. What's up? Roman. Not much. I'm working on my homework with Logan. Virgil. Shouldn't you be focusing then? Roman. How to do with this cute guy on my mind? Virgil. Is that so? Roman. ... Virgil. Gotta admit, I do like your straightforward attitude. Roman. Thanks, so what are you up to? Virgil. Same as you. Homework. Roman. Want to talk later so you could focus? Honey, I'm home. Brought pizza. My mom yells from the front room. Virgil. Yeah, talk to you later. Gotta go. Dinner with my mom. I hit send and stand up. I put my phone in my pocket and walk into the kitchen. Mom already set me a plate out, so I sit at the small table with her. She turns on the television as background noise and asks about my day. Alright, same as any other day, I guess. Oh, I did sit with some guys at lunch today. They actually seem cool. Different, but cool. I tell her and take a bite. She says that she's glad I'm starting to make friends. She also adds that she hopes we won't have to move again. I'm sorry, Mom. I promise you that this time I'll do better. We won't have to move again. I tell her. I'll do better. I'll keep my temper under control. I know you will. You're a good kid, honey, and you're a protector, but there are better ways than beating someone up. Once you realize that, you'll do just fine, she explains with a smile. She's right. My phone beeps in my pocket, and my mom asks who it is. I pull out my phone to check. It's still up again. This is the 10th message he sent me just today, and he's done this every day since we left Florida. I tell her, annoyed. He was really shy, but I did like him. Seems he doesn't handle separation well, though. She says, he's seriously starting to piss me off lately. We didn't even date that long when I lived in Florida. We were only together for 3 months. When I told him that I was moving here, he told me he loved me. After only 3 months. He's a nice guy. I liked him, and I still care about him, but I don't love him. When I told him that, he was not happy. He was really sweet, but I could see he was afraid when I left. I think he's lonely. I tell her, I want him to stay a part of my life, but this is only pushing me away. She nods, saying that he'll move on and forget about me soon enough. She asks about the guys I sat with at lunch today. Like I said, they're pretty cool. There's 3 of them, Logan, Patton, and Roman. Other than them, I haven't really talked to anyone else. After I finished my food, I excused myself so that I could finish my homework. I shouldn't take too long, an hour, maybe 2. I lay back on my bed, on my stomach, and grab a pencil I borrowed from Roman. He let me keep it for the day since I didn't have one. I told him I'd give it back to him tomorrow. I'm glad I finally met someone at school, though. Just because I prefer to be alone sometimes doesn't mean I always want to be alone. Besides, I really did start to enjoy hanging out with them at lunch. Roman's the only one I have class with, though, and it's first period. I should focus and finish this before I go to sleep. Morning, Virgil, Patton says I walk into school. Hey, I say. We've all been hanging out together almost every day since the day we had lunch a few weeks ago. We talk for another few minutes before I head off to our classes. When I get there, the door is closed, but I notice that Mr. Barnes is inside talking with Roman. Wonder what's going on. I wait until Mr. Barnes opened the classroom for everyone waiting outside. The first thing I do when I get inside is walk up to Mr. Barnes' class. "Do you need something, Virgil?" he asks. "Not exactly. I was just wanting to let you know that I finished the book you recommended." I tell him. "That's good. I want to talk with you after class about something. You're not in trouble. Just see me after class," he tells me. I sit in the spot next to Roman and lay my head on the desk. If I get in trouble this early in the year, Mom will have every right to disown me. "You all right?" Roman asks. I nod and ask him the same thing, but he says he's fine. I can see he's lying, but it's probably personal. All through class, I kept trying to figure out what Mr. Barnes wants to talk to me about. I haven't really done anything to anyone, so I'm sure it's not anything that bad. We go over the usual stuff we've been working on lately, and he collects our homework. At the end of class, I wait for everyone to leave before going up to Mr. Barnes. "I just wanted to see how you were doing," he says to me. "I'm doing all right. I may not have a lot of friends, but the ones I do have are pretty great," I tell him in response. "That's good. All right, give this to your next teacher. You're free to go." At lunch, the others join me not long after I sit down. While we're talking, a group of people walk over to us laughing. "Hey, Roman," a guy, Ethan I think, says standing behind him. "This your new boyfriend?" As soon as he says that, I put down my sandwich and ask him to repeat himself. Roman, Logan, and Patton tell me to let it go, but I really hate that word. "I'm going to tell you this only once. Leave," I say, standing up. "Or what?" he says, laughing. "Don't test me. Get the fuck out of my face unless you want to be walking with crutches," I say darkly, just loud enough that he could hear me. He laughs, saying that he isn't afraid of a gay. I ball my fists, but take a deep breath to calm myself. This guy is really testing my patience. "Do you know what blood tastes like?" I asked. His friends stop laughing, but the leader tries to still act tough. "If you like, I could show you. If not, get the fuck out of my face. Now," I say darkly. He laughs again, and Bully steps closer to me. "What could a gay like you possibly do to a guy like me? There's only one of you, and 5 of us. So maybe you shouldn't be so cocky," he says, nearly matching my dark tone. I take another deep breath and observe him for a moment. "I could see how confused you are about your own identity. Do you honestly believe that your friends like this version of you? No. They're afraid of you," I tell him, which makes him angry. "You'll wish you haven't said that," he yells angrily and reaches for my arm. I back away before he touches me and tell him angrily, "Don't touch me. Don't ever touch me." I'm not sure why, but I've always had this thing about people touching me without permission. Ever since I was little, when someone touched me without me letting them, I'll turn violent. Nothing bad happens to me when I was younger. Apparently, even when I was a baby, I would cry when people just picked me up without me reaching out. My dad hated it and thought I was just being difficult. My mom and grandma didn't seem to mind, probably because I started getting old enough to walk. I loved being picked up or held. Really only with them, though, which convinced my dad even more so that I was being difficult. It's not that I didn't like being held or picked up by my dad. It was that he wasn't really around. When he was, he locked himself in his office or fought with my mom. I still love him, though. And when he isn't here, we talk on Skype or on the phone. "Ethan, let's go. Haven't you heard what he did at his last school? He was arrested for assault," one of his friends say. When I smile, Ethan steps back and says that he isn't over before leaving. I watch him walk away so that I could get another reading on him. He acts like a narcissist on the surface, but insecure underneath. Bullies people he sees weaker than him. He is confused underneath it all, but hides it well. Still, I could see he's a good person. He's attractive, too. Styled blonde hair, a nice tan. He's built and tall. He looks good in his denim jeans and white long-sleeve shirt. That'll be a good combination once he stops acting like a jerk. His soul seems familiar as well. You were arrested? Logan asked. Shit. Forgot they were here. I could lie, but don't see any point. Yeah, I kicked this guy's ass who was hitting his girlfriend. I don't like bullies. I say before taking another bite of my food. Remind me not to piss you off, Roman says. The three laugh, which I didn't expect. I asked why they aren't afraid of me, like most people, when they found out about my past. Penn says that he doesn't like violence, but he also knows I'm a good person. Besides, those guys are jerks, Roman says. Ever since everyone found out we were gay, those guys have been messing with us. Patton explains. I figured Patton and Logan were dating before they told me, but they never told me they were bullied for it. Is that so? I ask, looking over at Ethan and his group. They let it go this time, but they might become a problem later on. So, do you like Roman? Patton asks out of nowhere. It catches me off guard, but my phone vibrates. I pull it out of my pocket to see it's Caleb calling. Is he serious? Every day with this. I'm sorry, I gotta take this, I say before answering and walking a bit of ways away from them. While walking, I start to feel a little sick, but shrug it off. What do you want, Caleb? Why haven't you been answering me? We're not dating anymore. I don't have to answer you. I love you, Virgil. How could you say something so cruel to me? We dated for 3 months, Caleb. You can't fall in love with someone after only 3 months. I don't know that. Did you even care about me at all? Of course I did. It's just, you're the only person besides my parents who has ever paid any attention to me, emotionally and physically. I just don't want to lose you. I still care about you. I want to stay in your life, but not if you keep acting the way you've been. Friends I can do, but that's all I can be for you. You're really a sweet guy, but you can't keep calling me 10 times a day. What if you forget about me? I won't forget about you because I still want you in my life. If it helps, I'll try to text you every day, but if I miss a day, it doesn't mean I forgot about you. It just means I'm busy. I still have my own life to live. Alright, I'm sorry for being a bother. Don't worry about it. You're not a bother. I know that you were just scared I'd disappear from your life, but I won't because I don't want to. You saw it? Yes. I could see when I saw you before I left. Would it be okay for me to come visit you in California sometime? Of course. Just let me know before you do so. I can make sure I'm free. Maybe you could visit for a few days for my birthday. I have to go now because I'm in school. I'll text you tonight. Bye. Bye. I hang up with a heavy sigh. Please be okay. I'm worried about him. Is everything okay? Roman asks when I sit back down. I don't know. I'm worried about my ex-boyfriend. We were each other's first real relationship, and he's finding it hard to let go. I explain with my head on the table. What's he like? Patton asks. I slowly lift my head and look at him. Are you serious? He nods and looks at the others, who also nod. His name's Cleb. He's sweet, but he's homeschooled, so he doesn't get out much. I just hope he'll be okay without me there. I explain with a sad smile. Patton suggests that he can message Cleb and start talking to him as a friend. I don't think that's a good idea. I tell him, and he asks why not. Let me talk to him first, and I'll ask if he wants to get to know you guys. I say, but haven't really decided if I'll tell him about them. Alright, so, do you like Roman? Logan asked this time. I glance over at Roman, who's shaking his head with an amused smile. Good question, I say with an equally amused smile. I ask if Roman put them up to this, but they both tell me no. They're not lying. The lunch bell rings, so I smile and tell them that I have to go. While heading to my 6th period class, I start to feel sick again. When I get to class, I take my seat near the back of the room and lay my head on my desk. I try to pay attention to what the teacher is saying, but I'm finding it hard. Crane? Virgil Crane! Miss Laxar, my English teacher, calls out. I lift my head up from my desk and look at her, but I'm not feeling so hot. My stomach is killing me. I think I'm about to puke. She calls my name again, but I ignore her and jump out of my seat. Unfortunately, I don't make it to the garbage in time. Instead, I throw up my lunch and some black liquid a few feet away from the garbage can. Every few months, I start to puke this stuff, but it only lasts about a week tops. I didn't bring my medicine because I thought I had more time. I hear one of the other students tell someone to call an ambulance. That wouldn't help me, though. They wouldn't find anything wrong. No one could explain to me why this happens, not even my grandma. My grandma believed it had something to do with soul search. She was so sure, but it didn't happen to her. She did find a herbal remedy when I was around 8 that helps reduce the effects. My mom has a friend that's a pharmacist, so she knows about soul search. She crafted the remedy into a gel capsule so I could take it on the go with me. Just my luck that my dumbass left it at home, but this wasn't supposed to start until at least a week. I have to get home. No, wait. My mom told me she gave me a bottle of medicine to school in case anything like this happened. Someone tries to help me, but I shove them back when they touch me. I'm a little lightheaded, but that will pass in a minute or so. I'm alright. Can I go to the nurse? Ask my teacher. Yes, of course. Go, she says with a shaky voice. I'm sure that almost everyone who just saw what happened is probably freaking out. I walk back to my desk and grab my bag. I walk to the door and open it to see a janitor with a mop bucket. I'm not going to live this down. Wonder what they'll come up with here. Near the end of the sophomore year last year, I ended up puking in front of the school. Rumors spread that I was dying. Of course, I made it clear that I wasn't, but some people still believe the rumor. When I get to the nurse's office, there isn't anyone there. I go to the garbage when I need to puke again. Someone enters the room and puts their hand on my back, but I pull away. Looking at them, I see it's a middle-aged woman wearing blue jeans and a green long-sleeve shirt. Her short blonde hair reaches to her shoulders, and her brown eyes are sad. I don't mean any disrespect, but don't touch me. I just need my medicine. My mom said she gave some to the school. I tell her. She asks my name, and when I tell her, she goes into the back room. I could see that she cares about people, but she doesn't really like this job. Something's been weighing her down. Likely for a while. It's affecting her life and her mood greatly. Is this what you're looking for? She asks, holding out my medicine bottle. I take out one of the pills before handing it back to the nurse. I am allowed to use my phone. I need to call my mom so she could pick me up. I say with my phone in my hand. Yes, but she'll have to come in here to sign you out, she explains. As she walks back into the back room again, I unlock my phone and press her contact name. It rings a couple times before she answers. I tell her the short version of what happened. She tells me that she's going to leave work and come pick me up. I live in walking distance to the school, but they just won't let me leave. While I wait for my mom, I watch the nurse, Miss Thorne, who is typing something on her computer. I could see that she feels hopeless. I can see that something is weighing heavily on your heart, I tell her after a few minutes before I can stop myself. Excuse me? She asks. Sorry, I didn't mean to say that out loud. It's none of my business. I tell her apologetically. She stopped typing and is watching me without saying anything. When she finally does say something, it's to ask a question. What makes you say that? She asks, genuinely curious. It's hard to explain. I can just tell something's on your mind. I tell her as I sit on one of the chairs. I could see she wants to talk about it, but doesn't find it appropriate to speak about it with a student. I know I'm a student, but it may help to talk about it, I say in a comforting tone. She tells me that she isn't happy with her marriage but can't leave. Her reason is she's scared of what may happen if she does. When I ask what she's scared of, she says that her husband can be mean when he doesn't get his way. I search something on my phone real quick. When I find what I'm looking for, I stand up and walk over to her. I hand her my phone and let her look at the webpage while I go into the bathroom. Virgil? I hear my mom calling after about 5 minutes. After throwing up more black stuff into the toilet, I flush it and walk out. Miss Thorne hands me my phone back and I grab my things. I hope it all works out for you, I say and wave goodbye. She thanks me and I leave with my mom. What was that about? My mom asks when we get to the car. I tell my mom everything so I could explain to her what we talked about. I'm really proud of you for trying to help her, honey, my mom says while starting the car. Well, I just hope things work out, I say, and we head home. When we get back home, my mom walks inside with me and asks if I need anything. Mom, you know you don't have to stay here. I'll be fine on my own, I tell her while grabbing a bucket from under the sink. I also grab a water bottle and an apple. Are you sure, honey? Because I can stay if you want me to, she says back. Once I assure her I'll be fine, she reluctantly agrees to go back to work. Before she leaves, she kisses my forehead and tells me she loves me. Love you too. Drive safe, I tell her as she leaves. I walk into the living room with the bucket and turn on the TV. After going to Netflix and putting on Criminal Minds, I lay down on the couch. I haven't had to puke again yet, but I still feel like shit. A whole week of this is going to seriously suck. Not to mention I'll get behind. Maybe not by much, but still. Thank you all so much for listening to this story. This author is so talented, and I'm also still sorry that I can't pronounce their name, but their links are in the description below for the book and for the author's Wattpad. You'll also find my social media, such as like Wattpad, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Reddit, all of that. I've been having fun on my socials, and I've been posting more because I've been finding more reason to post, so it's been fun. Just, all in all, thank you so much for listening. Stay tuned for next week's episode, and, like always, do your best.